Chosen one, something happened in the spirit realm that you did not plan and did not see coming. Death switched sides. The very force that was sent to destroy you looked at what you carry and changed allegiance. And now, instead of hunting you, it is guarding you. If you leave before this message is finished, you will miss the full revelation of what just happened on your behalf. Stay with me. I'm going to say something right now that your mind is going to want to argue with, but I need your spirit to receive it before your mind gets a chance to resist. What came for you did not take you, and that is not luck. That is not coincidence. That is not simply a matter of survival instinct or the right circumstances lining up at the right time. What happened when what was sent to destroy you encountered you instead was a collision between darkness and something it was not prepared to face. And what it found in you made it stop, made it reconsider, made it switch. You have been through things that should have ended you, not small difficulties, not the ordinary challenges that every person faces in the course of a life, things that had the weight of finality behind them. Seasons so dark that the darkness felt permanent. Moments so low that returning felt structurally impossible. Encounters with loss, with devastation, with the kind of pain that reshapes a person from the inside out. And through all of it, you did not end. You bent. You broke in places. You were changed by what you went through in ways you are still discovering. But you did not end. And I need you to understand that your survival was not accidental. Type Amen if you know that something that was meant to destroy you did not succeed, and you are still standing. What lives inside you is something that the kingdom of darkness did not fully account for when it sent what it sent. It calculated your external circumstances. It calculated your resources. It calculated the people around you and the strength of your support system. It calculated the weight of what it was bringing against you and compared it to the natural capacity of a person in your position. And by every natural calculation, the outcome should have been different. You should not have made it through what you made it through. The numbers did not add up in your favor. But there is something inside you that does not appear in natural calculations. Something that was placed there before you arrived on this earth. Something that the enemy cannot quantify because it does not originate in the natural realm. It is the mark of the one who chose you before you were formed. It is the seal of a divine assignment that cannot be terminated by anything that originates below the authority of the one who placed it there. It is the breath of the living God in the deepest part of who you are. And when what came for you encountered that, when it pressed against that inner reality and felt what was pushing back, something unexpected happened. It stopped, it reconsidered, and then something that has almost never happened in the history of spiritual warfare happened in your situation. It switched. Type 111 to declare that what was sent to destroy, you encountered something inside you that it was not prepared for. I want to explain what switching sides means in the spirit realm, because this is not a casual metaphor. This is a description of something that has real consequences for your daily life going forward. When a force that was assigned against you switches, it does not simply become neutral. It does not simply stop working against you and go find someone else to pursue. When something switches in the spirit realm, it becomes active in the opposite direction. What was working to close doors for you begins working to open them. What was working to block your provision begins working to clear the path for it. What was working to isolate you begins working to bring the right connections toward you. What was assigned to your defeat becomes assigned to your protection. This is what happened. The force that came for you looked at what it encountered and made a calculation it was not supposed to make. It recognized that what lives in you is stronger than what was sent against you. And rather than continue a battle it could not win, it repositioned. And now that repositioned force is on your side of the line, working for what was once its mission to prevent. This is why things that should have worked against you have begun working in your favor. This is why situations that looked like they were set up for your failure have been producing unexpected outcomes. This is why people who were positioned against you have either been removed from your path or have inexplicably become less effective in their opposition. The guard has switched, and the guard that is now on your side is not a small one. Type 777 to affirm that what switched sides is now working on your behalf and not against you. I want to speak now about the specific moments when the switching happened, because for many of you there was a particular season, a particular low point, a particular encounter with something that felt final. And in that moment, Something shifted that you could not explain at the time. You expected one outcome and received another. You braced for an ending and found yourself still standing when the moment passed. You went into something that looked like it had your name on it as a victim and came out the other way around. That was the moment of the switch. That was the moment when what was assigned against you looked into the depths of what you carry and made its unexpected calculation. That was the moment when the mark on your life became visible to the forces that were working against you, and when they recognized what they were actually dealing with. A chosen one. Someone carrying a divine assignment that supersedes the authority of anything that was sent to stop it. Someone whose life is protected by a covering that no force originating below that authority can permanently penetrate. You may not have understood what was happening in that moment. You may have simply experienced it as surviving something you were not sure you would survive. But now, I am pulling back the curtain on what actually took place. And what actually took place was one of the most significant moments in your spiritual journey. The moment when the forces of opposition encountered the reality of what you carry and could not proceed as planned. Type 333 to declare that you now understand what happened in your darkest moment, and you receive the full significance of your survival. I also want to speak to what this means for your enemies, the ones who have been working against you in the natural realm, the people who position themselves against your success, the ones who spoke against you, who withheld from you, who used their influence to create obstacles in your path. I want to speak to what is happening in their situation right now as a result of what switched in the spirit. When the guard switches, it does not only affect you, it affects everyone who was aligned with what was working against you. And the alignment that they thought they had, the sense of momentum that opposition carries when it believes it is winning, that has shifted underneath them without their full awareness. What they thought was a solid foundation for their opposition has become uncertain. The agreements they made in the spirit that supported their actions against you have been disrupted. And what they are beginning to experience, even if they cannot name it, is the sense that something has changed, that the wind that was at their back is no longer there, that the ground that felt stable has begun to feel less certain. This is not your doing. You did not orchestrate this. You did not plan it. It happened as a consequence of what you carry and what you survived and what switched because of both. And now the repositioning of what was against you is producing effects that extend into every arena where opposition was operating. The guard switching is not a small event. Its consequences reach everywhere that the previous assignment had influence. Type 222 to receive the truth that your survival disrupted every alignment that was working against you. I need to speak now about the cost of what you went through, because there is a temptation in a message like this to focus entirely on the victory and to minimize what it cost you to get here. And I am not willing to do that, because what you went through was real. The pain was real. The loss was real. The nights when you were not sure you would make it to morning were real. The moments when hope felt like the most irrational thing available to you and you chose it anyway were real. And those things deserve to be honored before we talk about what they produced. You paid a price to be standing where you are standing right now, a price measured in seasons of struggle, in relationships that did not survive the journey, in versions of yourself that had to die so that what is living now could emerge, in faith that was stretched past what felt comfortable or sustainable, in prayers that felt like they were disappearing into silence before they were answered. That is a real price, and I am not asking you to pretend it was not. But I am also asking you to let the price be worth something, to let what you paid purchase something in your life that reflects the full weight of what it cost. And what it purchased is exactly what this message is declaring over you, the switching of what was against you, the guard that now stands on your side, the protection that follows you not because you earned it in a moment of strength, but because you survived in moments of weakness, and the survival itself produced something that the spirit realm had to reckon with. Your suffering was not wasted. Your darkest seasons were not random. They were the crucible in which something was being forged that no comfortable season could have produced. And what was forged in that crucible is what caused the switching. What you endured made you into someone that even darkness had to respect. Type 444 if you receive the truth that what you paid through your suffering is now producing a return that honors the full price of what it cost. I want to address the chosen ones who are currently in the middle of the dark season, the ones who have not yet reached the moment of switching, who are in the thick of the thing that feels like it has come to end them, who are reading this from a place of genuine uncertainty about whether they will make it through what they are facing. I want to speak directly to you. You're going to make it, not because your strength is sufficient, not because the circumstances are about to become less difficult in the next moment, but because what lives inside you is what it is, and what it is has already been decided. The same mark that caused the switching in the lives of the chosen ones who have come through before you is on your life right now. The same divine assignment that made what came for them unable to proceed as planned is the assignment written over you. You are not less covered. You are not less chosen. You are not facing something that is bigger than what you carry. The switching is coming for you too. You may not see it yet. You may be in the moment right before the calculation changes, but it is coming. Because what lives in you does not lose. And what was sent against you is going to encounter that reality in the same way that everything sent against a chosen one eventually encounters it. And when it does, what happens to you is going to be the same thing that happened to every chosen one who survived what they were not supposed to survive. It is going to switch. And when it does, what comes next is going to be worth everything this season cost you. Type 555 to declare that you are going to make it through what you are currently facing, and the switching is already in motion. You stayed, and I want you to know that staying is itself a declaration, that what tried to take your attention in this moment did not succeed, that the spirit in you that wanted to receive this fully was stronger than the distraction that wanted to pull you away. That is exactly the kind of thing that causes switching, that persistent choosing of what matters over what is louder. That quiet refusal to be moved from what your spirit knows is important. You stayed. And what I have for you in this second part is the deeper revelation of what the switching means for your life going forward. I want to talk now about what your life looks like with the guard on your side, because this is where the declaration becomes practical. This is where what happened in the spirit begins to express itself in the circumstances of your daily life. And I want you to have language for what you are going to start seeing, so that when it happens, you recognize it as what it is and not as coincidence or luck. You're going to start noticing that things which should have worked against you are working for you instead. Situations that were set up for your failure are going to produce unexpected favor. People who were positioned to oppose you are going to find their opposition less effective than they planned. Opportunities that seem to have passed you by are going to circle back in forms that are better than what you originally expected. Doors that should be closed are going to be open. Doors that should be open to everyone are going to open specifically for you. This is the guard at work, the switched allegiance expressing itself in the natural circumstances of your life. And as you begin to see it, your confidence is going to grow. Not arrogance, confidence. The quiet, settled knowing of someone who understands that they are not navigating their life alone, that something has been repositioned on their behalf, that the spiritual landscape around them has changed, and that what changed it was not their own cleverness or planning, but the mark they carry and the survival it produced. Type 666 to open your eyes to the ways the switched guard is already working in your daily circumstances. I want to speak now about your enemies and what you are to do with them in light of what has switched, because some of you have been carrying energy toward the people who worked against you that I need to address. Some of you have been waiting for the moment of retribution, watching for the evidence that what went against you is now going against them, hoping to see the consequences of their opposition land visibly on their lives. And I understand that impulse. It is human and it is honest. And I am not going to shame you for having it. But I want to redirect it, because the energy you spend watching your enemies is energy taken away from building your future. And your future is where I need your attention right now. What happens to the people who opposed you is my business. I will handle it with a precision and a justice that you could not orchestrate even if you tried. What comes back to them will fit what they sent out with an accuracy that only I can produce. You do not need to manage it. You do not need to monitor it. You do not need to be present for it to be satisfied that justice is being done. What I need from you is that you keep your eyes forward. Keep your attention on the territory you are entering. Keep your energy on building what your next season requires. And trust that everything that was set against you is being addressed by the one who switched the guard and who does not overlook what was done against his chosen ones. Your job is the future. Mine is the accounting, and I am very good at my job. Type 777 to release your enemies into God's hands and redirect your energy toward the future He is building for you. I want to speak about the authority that comes with what switched, because the switching was not only a defensive event. It was not only about protection from what was coming. It was also about the release of something into your life that carries weight in the spirit realm. When the guard switches on behalf of a chosen one, it signals a change in spiritual authority in that person's life. It signals that the season of being under the pressure of what was assigned against them is giving way to a season of operating with a new level of authority in the spirit. You are going to begin to notice that your words carry more weight, that when you pray things move more quickly than they did before, that when you speak over situations, something shifts in a way that was not happening at the same speed in previous seasons. That when you stand in faith over circumstances, the environment around you responds to that faith with a tangibility that is new. This is not because you have become more spiritually impressive. It is because the spiritual landscape around you has changed. The opposition that was creating resistance to your authority has been repositioned. And what you are operating with now is a clearer expression of what was always yours, but was being contested. Walk in it. Do not shrink from it. Do not talk yourself back into the posture of someone who is still fighting for survival when the season of survival has ended and the season of authority has begun. You are not the one being hunted anymore. You are the one being guarded, and that changes everything about how you move through the world. Type 888 to declare that you step into the spiritual authority that the switching has released in your life. There is something I want to say about the people who will witness what happens next in your life, because what the guard now produces in your circumstances is going to be visible. It is not going to be something that only you experience in the privacy of your inner life. It is going to show up in ways that the people around you can see, in the favor that finds you, in the doors that open, in the opportunities that arrive, in the protection that becomes evident in situations where others who were similarly positioned did not receive the same outcome. And when people see it, they are going to ask questions. They are going to want to understand what is different about you. What is it that you carry that produces this? Why does favor seem to follow you in ways that do not follow others in the same circumstances? And the answer you carry is the same answer that has always been behind what happens in the lives of chosen ones who walk in their identity and their assignment. It is not luck. It is not natural giftedness. It is not better strategy or more discipline or more impressive qualifications. It is the mark, the divine assignment, the choosing that happened before you arrived on this earth, the survival that caused the switching, the guard that is now on your side. And when you share that answer with the people who are watching, what you are sharing is a testimony, and that testimony is going to reach people who need to hear it, who need to know that what can happen for a chosen one who survives what they were not supposed to survive can happen for them too. Your story is not only for you. It was always going to be a testimony, and the switching is the part that makes the testimony undeniable. Type 999 to declare that your testimony is going to reach the people who need to hear it and change their lives. I also want to speak about fear, because some of you, even hearing this message, are still carrying a background fear. A quiet sense that what is good cannot last, that something is going to come and take what has been given, that the switching is real but temporary, that what switched once can switch back, and I want to address that fear directly with the truth that dismantles it. What switched did not switch because of something you did in a moment of strength. It switched because of what you carry, and what you carry has not changed. The mark on your life is not temporary. The divine assignment is not conditional on your performance in any given season. The choosing that happened before you were born was not a choosing that I have the capacity to reverse. When I choose someone, the choice holds through every season, through their failures, through their doubts, through their worst days and their longest nights. The choosing does not waver, because the one doing the choosing does not waver. What switched because of what I placed inside you. And what I placed inside you is permanent, which means the switching is permanent. The guard that has repositioned on your side is not a temporary arrangement that expires when you make a mistake or go through a weak season. It is the consequence of a divine reality that has always been true about you, and that was simply made visible in the spirit realm through what you survived. You do not need to earn it again. You do not need to maintain it through performance. You simply need to know it is there, and let that knowing change how you move through the world. Type 1111 to declare that the guard on your side is permanent because what you carry is permanent, and the choosing that produced it does not change. As this message comes to its close, I want to leave you with a picture of who you are in this moment, not who you were when the dark season started, not who you were when what came for you first arrived, who you are now, in this moment, after everything that happened. You are a chosen one who survived what was sent to stop them. You are someone who went through what the enemy designed as a final chapter and came out the other side still breathing, still believing, still standing. You are someone in whose life something so significant happened in the spirit realm that what was assigned against you changed sides. You are not the same person who entered the dark season. You are the person who came out of it with something that person did not have when they went in. You have the testimony. You have the proof. You have the lived experience of what it means to be covered by something that the darkness itself had to acknowledge. And that is not a small thing. That is one of the rarest things that happens in the story of a chosen one. The moment when what came against them became what stands beside them, when the force of the opposition became the force of the protection, when death itself switched sides and became a guard. That happened for you. That is your story, and no one can take that story from you. No future difficulty can erase what happened. No new opposition can undo the repositioning that took place. What switched is switched. What is guarding you is guarding you. And the one who arranged it all is the same one who chose you before the foundation of the world and who will be faithful to that choosing until the very last moment of your story. Walk in it, chosen one. Walk in the knowledge of what you carry and what it caused and what is now on your side because of it. You are not prey. You are not a target moving through a dangerous world without covering. You are a chosen one with the guards switched. And that changes everything about what is possible for the rest of your life. Type yes and amen to receive the full weight of everything declared over your life in this message today. And share this with a chosen one who needs to know that what was sent to destroy them only made them more dangerous to the darkness and more powerful in the kingdom of God.